What's up, guys? Gary, you're watching Diesel Fuel Network. So, check this out. My neighbor just gave this to me for free. It's a Husqvarna YTH 2148. It's got a 48-inch deck. I don't even really care about that because you know I'm going to do stupid things with it. The beauty is what's under the hood.
So this is a fully, well, I haven't actually gotten it running yet, but it's supposed to be a fully operational machine. It's actually in really good shape. I'm not sure the year, but I'm going to say it's probably early 2000s maybe. There's probably a way to find that out, but check this out. Yeah, it's got a Vanguard V-twin, and it is the largest Vanguard V-twin, the 38 cubic inch, 21 horsepower. Still kind of a small engine. I mean, my Intech V-twin on the hot rod tractor is a 40 cubic inch, and that is actually the smallest Intech you could get. There was also a 44 and a 49. Then on this is the biggest one, there was a 30 and a 35. This is a 38. So that's 627 cc compared to 656 cc on that one. But these are just considered the better engine. Now, I don't know exactly why they're considered the better engine. I do know one thing: they have better flowing heads. Although, I mean, think about it. This is a smaller engine by 2 cubic inches, but smaller, and it has a bit more power, 21 horsepower, than that started out with at 18.5. However, this Intech 40 cubic inch, in that displacement, 40 cubic inch, 656 cc, was available with as much as 21, I think 21 or 22 horsepower. Now, this one has been modified a little bit, nothing crazy. I mean, the governor's removed, which is obvious. That's like the first thing you do no matter what. But as far as the horsepower goes, like I said, started out as 18.5 horsepower, but the plastic intake manifold from the original aluminum intake manifold that alone will bring it up to in that 21 horsepower range. And then with it being jetted, having the header and no governor, I believe it's making upwards of 25 horsepower. I mean, it's hard to say, but seat of the pants from when it was stock to how it pulls now, it pulls way harder. So it is, you know, you can make your judgment on that as far as the horsepower. Theoretically, this engine should have more potential. It already has 21 horsepower. It is a smaller engine, but these are just considered the go-to engine for race mower guys, and one of the things about it is it's a better flowing design. The heads, although I haven't had the heads side by side, I have a lot of experience with those Intech heads. The heads on a Vanguard are just a much better flowing head. You know, think about it like an old school, well, this is an older engine technically than that, but you can almost think of it like an old school small block Chevy compared to like an LS. You know, it has better flowing. This would be like the LS, would have better flowing heads. I'm just going to see if this thing will fire up. The guy said it doesn't idle. That was the only thing I think he said was wrong with it. So honestly, it should. I'm going to throw some fresh gas in it, and I think it should run. Boy, if I had my gimbal, I'd get a really good shot of that. So this thing is actually in really good condition. I mean, I didn't really inspect the belt or anything like that. It looks like, oh yeah, the deck belt is fried actually. But, wow, that's pretty bad. But the deck itself, it's not rotted out, and just overall this thing is in pretty good shape. Now it also has the cast iron axle. I don't know if that's exact, so basically I didn't say this is exactly the same as these other mowers here, the Craftsman LT chassis, which is exactly what the hot rod tractor is the same. So even like the fender setup, it might be a little bit different, but it's very similar in design. The hood, all of that is the same. The way the axle mounts and everything. So basically, if I wanted to pretty much duplicate what I did with that, I could pretty much do it with this. Now this does have a hydrostatic trans, which is not good for making a fun machine, but we do want to see if that works. That could be worth a little bit of money. $100, $200, I don't know. And hey, it's holding air in the tires too. That's actually, to me, is amazing. They had a flat tire when I picked it up, and the guy aired it up, and it's been a few days, and it's still, they're all holding air. So again, I don't think there's going to be anything too interesting. I may have to pull that carb and go through it because he said it had an idle issue, but I'm just going to throw some gas in it right now. I'm losing daylight, so I'm probably just going to see what it does. We'll run it, and then I may just take the old hot rod tractor for a drive.
When I got this thing, it had nothing. It was dead. I didn't check the battery, but I didn't have any power. Charged it, and it had like 12 something, so let's see. Oh yeah, it's got, I just took it off the charger. It's got 13.8, so it's from 2019. It should be alright. Let's see. Will it take a load? Nice, oh, yeah, look at that. That's what I guess. I mean, it doesn't have a gravity feed, so it shouldn't really matter. Although it said it had
You don't want to sit on the seat. Oh man, seriously? That is why. PTO was up. Nope, that's not why. Don't ask me what that's about, but now it's good. Weird. That is weird. You know what? Does this have a fuel shut off? Because that's what it sounded like. It seemed like the fuel shut off. There's some of these usually lawnmower engines, rider engines, have a little solenoid on the fuel bowl, and you'll hear it click on and off with the key, and that actually will just shut fuel to the main jet. So I hear it working though. Of course, there's a bunch of noise now. You can hear it. All right. Heard it only hitting on one cylinder. That was because I only sprayed it, kind of went into the one side of the intake manifold. Huh. Not really a gravity feed, so, but it should be, when I jump that down like that, it should be a little bit more than that, I think. Oh man, I think that's our problem. Oh yeah, huh. I think we may have no fuel pressure, no fuel getting to our deal here. So, let me take this filter off and see if it's not that much blocking us, but I don't think it is. And I'll get the air compressor fired up, and I'll blow some serious air through this thing and see if that gets us anywhere. Yeah, that's like, well, not the filter. Yeah, we got a straight up blockage. It's not, I should be able to at least blow and get some kind of like bloop, 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 bloop into the tank. That is definitely the problem. You can see this is basically dry as a bone. So it probably just ran on whatever was in the carburetor already. So I'm gonna get the compressor going and blow that out. Hopefully that does it. Alright, we got a bloody air pressure here. Took forever. I only got like 60 psi in the pump. It took forever to get there. I need a new compressor. Alright, let's see what we got here. You know what? Pop that cap off. Be blowing my tank. The thing already looks all dry rotted. That's weird. Let me get, you know what? Another trick I can do is I try to seal a rag onto the tank and try to blow it back out this way. Yeah, because it might even be in the line. Let me see if I can do that. There she is. Alright, let's see if that makes any kind of difference. Nothing. Any fuel in there? No, it's dry as a bone, isn't it? Dude, you gotta be kidding me. I don't see how that's not enough unless my fuel pump, you know, it could be well, I'm not even gonna blow into it now, but it could be my fuel pump is bad. It could be the, you know what I need to do is just hook a gravity feed tank up to this. But my gravity feed tank currently has diesel in it, so I can't really do that, can I? I'll pop it off at the carburetor and see if I'm actually pumping fuel. Oh, I already see it. Okay, you definitely got juice there. Although it looked like it only just started really coming out, so maybe that will do it. Nothing, which makes me think that solenoid is the problem, because if it was just the idle circuit, it would run on choke, but it's not running on choke at all. It's not doing anything. Yeah, so the carburetor's definitely got to come off. Well, Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do that. Yeah, so the carburetor's got to come off. That was obvious right there. I don't know why, I really don't know why it wouldn't run until it did, but that's besides the point, because now it does run, but you can hear the way that it's surging. That's running lean. And now if this was the Intech V-twin and it was doing that, it would be the pilot jets, and on the Intech 2-barrel there's a plate right up here that you pop off and you can clean it right out without even removing the carburetor. But on this 2-barrel for the Vanguard, it's not the same at all, so I'm gonna end up having to take that off and get into it. And it is probably just the pilot jets. In fact, these adjustments right here, those are probably just air bleeds actually, but either way, yeah, it's gonna have to come off. So yeah, we will get to that. Started taking the carb off, and I was like, well, wait, I don't feel like I gotta push it in there. I'll just start drive it in there. It should, now we'll find out if it actually drives. It should start up again. Get enough running capability to get it in there. One of these days will get me a bloody power tool. Well, that sounds good. I'll tell you what, it looks like this has a bigger carburetor throat than the Intech. I have kind of measured the Intech the best I could with a caliper and by eye. Well, because you can't really get it all the way into the Venturi. And the one on the Intech's like, I want to say about 24, 25 millimeters per cylinder. Just by eye, this... It looks like a little bigger. Maybe it's about the same. Actually, I do have the Intech carburetor over here. Oh, yeah. Now, is it? It's hard to say, but I think the Vanguard carburetor might have bigger throats. Well, either way, it's not like it's a direct bolt-on. I was just curious, because actually I'm wondering, I want to actually go into this carburetor and see if I can jet it and do all the things that I did to the other one. And if this is smaller, then it ain't going to benefit putting it on there. It would be interesting to know if a Vanguard carburetor would be an upgrade for the Intech, though. But at that point, you can just put like a motorcycle, cheap like Amazon motorcycle carburetor on there, or dual motorcycle carburetors, if you really want to get more power out of them. Then you'd have to do a custom intake manifold too, but that's getting to a whole nother level. But anyway, yeah. Man, tell you what, these Vanguards are a lot more annoying. Well, they're annoying compared to the Intech. What would have taken like 1 minute to get the top cover off on the Intech just took me like 5 minutes of unbolting everything, the oil cooler and brackets and all kinds of stuff. Had to pop the PCV valve off of here to get one bolt out of there. And honestly, I shouldn't even have to be taking this off, but getting the carburetor off, it has the fuel shutoff solenoid and the wires. One wire, I can get to the ground wire disconnected, but the positive lead, and they're just real short, going up under there, I can't get to the plug. So in order to get that unplugged and all that stuff so that it's not, because it's got studs instead of bolts, so to get that off, I have to pull the top cover, which is fine because I did want to take a look at the way the intake manifold is. I do kind of see it through here, but finally, oh wait, don't tell me. Yeah, we're good. Oh, I didn't have to take that off. The seed ground wire I took off that was not needed to be coming off. But no mouse nests or anything under there. It's been a long time since I don't really remember doing a. I don't remember the last time I did a 2-barrel carburetor on a Vanguard, but you know, you got the little fuel shutoff solenoid on the bottom of the carburetor there. And the ground wire, as you see, it loops right up there, and it's just bolted there. No big deal. And that's as far as I could pull that. I could have cut that zip tie and gone a bit further. But the other wire, the positive lead, goes up, zip tied there, goes down through, and the plug for it's right here. Well, what good is that going to do? You're not going to be able to route it back through there and plug it in unless you take the top cover off anyway. But, yeah, so that's the thing I really wanted to look at, though, is the way the intake manifold is. Although I'd really like to see what the head port looks like. That's kind of what really matters. But if you look and you compare it, on the intake, the airflow comes up through, has to go, you know, like back down through an elbow this way into the carburetor, and then through there and snake its way. Now, this would theoretically make more torque. This will have like a more low-end torque, or maybe a broader. I don't know about broader, but a longer runner like that is going to have more torque, and it has really long port to the valve. But it is also going to sacrifice airflow and ultimately power. More, not necessarily because it's long, but because of the routing that it has to go, you know, up in, make 180 degree, come back through, and go 180 degrees and go back in. Whereas this, you know, although I don't know if it's pretty good design. I mean, it's got a nice radius there. It is a pretty tight design. I mean, I could see this benefiting from like a tunnel ram, like a nice tall version of the same thing. And I believe that's been done. I think I've seen that on some YouTube video or picture or something of a tunnel ram set up on a Vanguard. But yeah, you can see the difference there between the two, and basically the biggest difference between those engines. It's interesting too, because they could have. Well, no, I guess you couldn't, because on this engine, the head port is here on the side, and it actually it's almost like the intake manifold continues, because the head port is super long. It goes down like that. Whereas on this engine, the head port is at the top, but I don't know exactly what it looks like. I don't know what it looks like going into the, because here's the spark plug. So it shouldn't be too far. And then there's your exhaust port. Whereas on this engine, the spark plug is way out here, but the head port's way over here. So you kind of see what the difference is there.
So I didn't even get in there yet. And where is it? It won't focus. You see that gel? That is not focusing, but you can see it, right? Yeah, that's the ethanol in the gas. Turns to that gel. So let's get in there and see how ugly she is. Oh, yeah, she's ugly. Actually not too bad, but look at that.
Where is it? All the light in the world is daytime. I can't get this thing to focus. Come on. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that juicy? And of course, the jets, emulsion tubes, it's all covered. Wow. Oh, okay. That, I don't know if that's the pilot jet, but the main jets are in here. Yeah, you can kind of see. And those are going to be, pretty sure those are going to be the main jets that are lined up with those emulsion tubes. And then those side ports there are probably going to be, yeah, there's a number on there, like 30 something. Luckily, they're not too hard to get out, and I got a good engagement on my screwdriver, but you do got to be careful with these jets because you can, you can fairly easily strip them out if you don't got good engagement. These are really nice jets. They got good deep groove on them for the screwdriver. Oh yeah. Now let's not forget which one goes where here. Not even going to pull these all the way out yet. Here, a beautiful Jake break-in coming. .104 on the main jets. So now we can see the number. We don't have to worry about not putting them back in the correct location. I don't know what I was thinking. I probably should have got all this gel out of this thing first. Well, let's pop these out. Let's see what we got. Ugh. Oh yeah, there you go. That's proper main pilot jet right there. Just like the key and carb on my motorcycle. That is a 54 pilot and a 104 main. This thing is clogged, and I think I gotta find some wire. I don't really have like a straw. This isn't even carb clean, it's freaking ether, because it's all I got. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wire that out. That is some nasty stuff right there. Oh, oh, oh. Man, hands are freaking cold ass. Yeah, so check her out. The main jets are in here. Line up with the emulsion tubes. I still gotta clean that. And the pilot jets go there. Line up with that port. But the interesting thing to me is that this has removable main jets and pilot jets. These are very similar looking to the ones that are in the key and carburetors on my Honda Magna motorcycle. And it's a 104 main jet and a 54 pilot jet. It's worth noting, though, that jet sizes are not interchangeable. So, in other words, regardless of what carburetor you have, say you have a key and carburetor, it's got a 104 main jet. That size doesn't necessarily mean it's exactly the same as a 104 main jet on a Mikuni carburetor or a Nikki carburetor. They might have both. They might all three have a 104 on their jet, but it doesn't mean the actual orifice is exactly the same. But that's kind of just a little information that is almost useless to you, because whatever carburetor you have, and whatever jet you start with is your baseline. So either way, I'm going to continue to. I got all this blown out and cleaned out, and try to get that cleaned up and get her back together, and she should run good. I actually still got to get a little wire and go through the jets here, because these are still kind of clogged up, which is good, because that is the problem. That tells me that I found the problem. Yeah, you can see that it's clogged right up. And those, obviously the pilot jets have a much smaller hole, much smaller orifice. So that is typical, that those will clog up. The main jets still had enough fuel getting past them, so it would run on choke, but it wouldn't idle, and it really would surge, wouldn't have enough fuel. So, and actually, those were clogged a bit too, but not fully clogged, obviously. So we'll go ahead and get it fully cleaned, back together, and really, there's nothing more to show. I mean, I just got to pop this. I'm going to pop the needle and seat, the float and the needle out, just because I don't want to spray a bunch of stuff on that. It might actually have some nasty stuff in it too, who knows. Get that all cleaned off. Hopefully not ruin the gasket. Because, you know, when you spray like carb clean or ether or any of that kind of stuff around the rubber gasket, you could swell it up and it'd be ruined. But try to hopefully not ruin that. We'll get it back together and see how she runs. I now hate this engine. What would have taken on the Intech V-Twin about maybe 5-10 minutes tops to put the carburetor back on and the whole like top of the engine shroud and everything like that, it took at least a half hour, if not more, because there are so many freaking little things. Like this had to come off to get that bolt, that goes in, then there's that bolt, then there's the oil cooler, and all the little things. Like the shroud has to line up perfectly with this shroud, and that has to line up with the block. Everything at the front was a bit more complicated than it needs to be. The fuel pump bracket has to come off because it goes through the top shroud, but the fuel pump has to come off the bracket to get that off. Oh man, it was just so annoying. I mean, really just like something that should have taken 5 minutes to just put that top cover and everything back together. A lot of stuff like the fuel pump and everything doesn't have to come off on the Intech. On the Intech, well, you can't really tell. Yeah. See, on the Intech, here's the fuel pump and the mount. It's not on the top shroud. Not to mention, all of these are slotted, so you could just pop it off. On this, none of them are slotted. They're all holes, and there's a bunch of them, and oh man, what a nightmare. But, battery has 12.7 volts. Let's hopefully it's got enough to crank. Let's see what she does. Oh, it'd help if I actually hooked the battery up. Let's see what she's bloody got. Hopefully I got enough cranking amps. Choke, throttle. Of course, there's no fuel there, so it's going to take a bit. Wait a minute. I'm not hearing my fuel solenoid. Wait a minute, did I forget? You know what? I think I forgot to frickin' hook the ground back. No, I didn't. Oh, there it is! Son of a bitch! Are you kidding my ass? I forgot to hook the damn ground. How did I do that? I could have swore I hooked that up. Oh, what a piece of shite. It's funny, as I was putting it all together, I was thinking back to when I did this, worked at a shop and did this for a living, and it was, okay, I don't normally put it all together until I test fire it. That way, in case I did miss anything, it's easier to get to. Luckily, there's this top little cover here. I didn't have to pull the air filter off. I was going to thought I had to pull the front piece off, but no. Just pop this off. I should be able to. Actually, no. It's going to be a pain, I think. How did I miss that? I guess because you know what I did? I must have just set it there and then I went for the. I hear the solenoid now. Only on one cylinder for some reason. Oh man, she's still not happy. me. She's kind of on and off one cylinder. And carburetor, that's kind of weird because it's like looked pretty good when I was done with it. I don't know. This side is not at least not consistently. I can touch the pipe, whereas this side I can't even get near the pipe. It's freaking burning hot. So, ow. Yeah, that's annoying. Unfortunately, that's gonna be it for now because it's Sunday, so I ain't getting spark plugs. I know it ain't the plugs anyway. That carburetor, so I ain't gonna be able to get anything for it right now. Tomorrow's Christmas, and I'm actually like I'm over it. I don't care anymore. I know at least I know it's a solid engine. I mean, it's just got, I think it's just a carburetor issue still. So ultimately, I'm gonna look on Amazon and see what it costs for a carburetor. Maybe it's cheap. Yeah, I buy stuff on Amazon. You know, for a while I actually refused, but then I actually needed something that was only available through Amazon. The marker lights that came on the front of the OEM marker lights on the front of the truck over there. Only place I could get them was on Amazon, so that was it. Converted me in one purchase. Basically half, almost full choke even right now, and it's maybe it'll clear up. I don't know. Let's try and run it and see what it does. It's like that bearing was making noise and then it stopped making noise and then it would make noise again. Yeah, I don't know. It needs a lot of work. I'll tell you what though. Regardless, it does need a lot of work. The engine runs like crap. That could easily be fixed. Deck probably needs some spindles. Not a big deal. It does need a deck belt, but it seems to be operating okay. but I don't own I've never owned a riding mower. I only have ever owned a push mower and a self-propel mower. Self-propel, like push mower. You. Just that little bit of action right there has me not wanting to cut this thing up and just actually make it be my lawnmower. So I don't know. Maybe I will. I mean, I'm not that happy with that engine to begin with anyway, so like maybe it doesn't need to be a race mower. Yeah, I guess we'll see. Alright guys, well, the Husqvarna didn't really work out exactly as I was hoping. It's definitely a good machine, but carburetor is in need of some more help. A new carburetor on Amazon is like $150, which is way too much. I got the machine for free, so now I can't justify that. A friend of mine has a sonic cleaner, so if that doesn't work out, I am going to end up probably getting a carb for it. But anyway, I was going to end this video off taking this for a drive. Already video's too long anyway, so that's one reason why that's not happening. But the main reason why is because my lithium battery for this thing took a crap. And, of course, where that was, I can't fit the regular size battery anymore. So that turned into making a new battery mount, which basically snowballed into this whole other project that I'm doing, which you are going to see on a very soon future, maybe next video, I don't know. So I figured I'd just show you real quick where I'm at with that, and that'll be more detailed in the next video. So here we go. I ramble on and on. I can talk and talk. Yeah, so we're gonna get into the details of that in the whichever video it is that is in. But yeah, the fuel tank, the little 2-gallon tank that was on there. Oops, that's not very clear. It's over there, and it leaked really bad at the middle seam. So I wanted to get rid of that anyway, and it was only zip tied on the back. So I've extended the frame more. I added this now very large fuel tank, which is actually the original tank to the machine. Original tank that sat underneath the seat between the fender on the normal Craftsman lawnmower. And currently what I'm working on right now is gusseting up the seat back there, because that is, the back supports used to go there and go down, which no longer there. So yeah, that'll be a little bit more detailed out in a video coming up. Maybe next video, maybe not. I don't know, but it's going to be. I've been, working on it. A lot more work to get that done. And yeah, okay. So yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you guys for watching, subscribing, subscribe, all the other stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks.